next step for a guy like that?
Man, Bryan, came in day one and was, excellent pass rusher, man, could really get off the football and, had some work to do in the run game. He really went to work in that aspect of it and, really was outstanding his freshman year. 10-game starter and, led all true freshmen defensive tackles and sacks with 4. So, I mean, you can't have much a better year than he had as a freshman. But he has really been working hard and had a great spring and really starting to take it to another level. And that's what we've challenged him on, just to, max out his abilities and to get better in the run game and not just focus on pass rush.
Todd, with this defense as a whole, does it feel like the resurgence of the defense is going to start on the interior at the defensive line with your guys?
Man, it always starts up front. It's up front first and then inside out. And our guys have taken that approach. We had a sour taste in our mouth coming off that last game we played this season against Ohio State. And our guys, man, they've owned it and just really focused on getting more physical and, reestablishing that defensive line, man, and that line of scrimmage. So that's been fun to watch, and those guys are working their tails off.
Along those same lines, Coach Gershon was saying this was probably the most physical spring that he's seen since he's been here. Would you agree with that? And kind of how did that decision come about?
Oh man, I think the players made a decision that, hey, we're gonna come out. We got out physical, so we're gonna come out in the spring and be physical. And that charge also started with Coach Sweeney driving that. And those guys, man, they really went to work in the weight room. A lot of times, when you get out physical like that, that's where it starts. And so a lot of guys went to their individual part of that and just really recommitted themselves to that weight room.
How sobering was that? Because this program isn't used to being pushed around like it was. How much of it was sort of a check on the whole sort of program's identity?
Well, I think humble pie is the best kind of pie. And our guys, man, you got to sometimes you got to get that chip back on your shoulder that regardless, who tells you you're great, you got to come hungry every day and you got to come humble every day to go out and work hard. And we put that chip back on our shoulder and try to get game reps in practice. And that's what Coach Gresham was talking about, being able to go out there and compete every day, man, and sharpen each other. And CHIP stands for compete how I practice, man, and it shouldn't be any difference from the game to the practice field. And that's what we had to get back to.
Seems like you have no shortage of leaders on the defensive line. Did you see anyone really take that next step there this offseason?
Man, I've been just really pleased with Tyler Davis. He's took it to another level, and Bryan has also been a leader for us over the summer. And then we've got defensive ends. You can probably reach in a hat and pick a name out of the defensive ends who have came in and been leaders and bright spots and just trying to take our group to the next level, man. Putting in extra work. KJ Henry, Justin Foster, all those guys have done a great job.
How did you guys receive the news that Justin had decided to unretire and return to football?
I can't even show you right now if I'm sitting down. I got to stand up to show you. But I was, man, leaping for joy, man, because I know the type of young man this guy is, man. He's a rock solid guy who's going to, be where he's supposed to be, doing what he's supposed to do, and just a relentless after, becoming the best version of him. And he also brings people with him. That's probably the best quality. He's bringing people with him, and so we're thrilled to have him back.
Recruiting philosophy-wise, with things opened up, I know a lot of schools were doing officials in the summer and that kind of stuff, and you guys stuck with playing no officials during the summer. So did y'all talk about that at all? Was there any discussion, and what was that like?
Man, that was great. Just knowing who you are, your DNA, your identity. We've never done that as far as bringing guys in on official visits in the spring or the summer, and we stuck to who we are, and it served us well. Guys who really wanted to come see us, they came, and it worked out for us. So I'm really thrilled with where we are right now, and classes come together great.
Is that going to pay off too, you feel like, in the fall when you guys still have all the officials you can use and some of these schools are running out?
Yes, sir, because that's your best, that's your best bullet that you have. That's you being able to show a game day experience, and I'm glad we still have ours in our back pocket.
Todd, can you give us an update on DeMonte and Trey Williams, sort of the year that they had, and sort of how it feels like they may be in a better position now
Yes, sir.
to make an impact?
Both guys, very young guys, had some maturing to do, and injury, bitten by the injury snake, and just overcoming adversity in that department. Kept a good perspective in the way that they stayed engaged and locked in on what we're trying to do. And I'm thrilled with where they both are on this day, man. Just really, when a lot of adversity hits a young man that's a freshman, sometimes it caves them in, and it takes a while to get them back. DeMonte, was injured a little bit and has went through some things, and he still has a good head on his shoulders. Trey Williams comes in, coming off of a shoulder surgery and has to get another one, and he's back to healthy now. And those guys kept a good mentality, man, and a good mindset, and they made the time count. A lot of guys will miss that time and not gain anything from it. Well, they've learned, our playbook. They've learned, and they're just a year older, a year wiser, and just look forward to seeing them.
Coach, with as good a position as you've had over the years, how do you measure progress for this year's year? Is it more difficult for you because you know where the bar is, or is it easier because you and the players know where the bar is?
Well, I tell you what, man, I think we don't really get into comparisons about other teams, but within our unit, but we have a good gauge of what somebody's best looks like, what somebody's capable of, and we got a lot of potential in the room, and really just trying to focus on improving every day and getting better every day, and trying to make sure we max this room out to what they can be. And it doesn't hurt to have the Power Rangers that were here a couple of years ago. That film lives on forever, and you can see what it looks like and what you want it to be, and that's inspiring for our guys. So just really look forward to seeing them this season and in this fall camp take their game to another level.
Coach, how big was the spring for Rook after being injured most of last season?
I was big for Rook, man. Rook's what came in as a very raw player, and only a few years experience playing the game, and he's really, applied himself. He's really, been in there trying to be a student of the game and learning from myself and other players who've played this game a long time, and it's just been a breath of fresh air to see him grow. You can just see it. It's incremental growth from day one to now, and just really looking forward to him taking the field this season, man, and developing into the role that he's going to have this season.
Todd, what will it take for this group to kind of match that Power Rangers level of success?
Well, the first thing, man, is just show up every day with that chip on your shoulder, compete how you practice, and being consistent from top to bottom, and that's just maturity. And some days you're not going to feel like it, but come in every day, man, and just roll your sleeves up and go to work with that lunch pail mentality.